What's going on, everybody? And welcome to another episode of the Legion on Zoom. As usual, yada yada, Ches, you know, this, that, whatnot.
Exactly, Miguel. So let's do this.
And I'm Rod, and I gotta say that's the most tame intro so far. And we're joined by a Joker face Nightwing today from McFarlane Toys. This little badass guy right here. Check it out. Anyway, I'm Rod. What's going on, people?
And that's why I kept it so tame. I didn't want to take the spotlight from such a hot ass toy.
Speaking of hot ass, I think that's the other thing is we all fucking got hot asses right now. It's fucking hot in New York City. It's like what wasn't it? Isn't it still supposed to be spring? And now we're getting and the problem is like it'll get fucking much hotter. And I think at least for me, working from home without AC, estoy harto. This is just not. I'm like, I want to go back to the office to the beautiful AC in the office, the centralized AC. Like shit, we're good.
But even if you did have it, I was gonna say like even if you did have AC, it is AC that you don't pay for.
Exactly. I don't pay for the electricity bill for that at all, man. Shit.
Yeah, earlier I was wondering like, yo, the guy's gonna have an issue if I just wear like a wife beater. I'm like, because it's just like so hot out. I don't want to wear a t-shirt. Usually I try to wear like a different t-shirt every show. I mean, there's some repeats for the deep cuts fans, but yeah. And
the fans,
wait, before let's dive in like wife beater. Like, what's up with that? Like,
I know, right?
Bro, the worst fucking moniker a clothing item could ever have.
And it's one of those things where it's not even subtle, right? It's not like one of those things where like when you get older, you're like, oh, that's what that means. It's in the fucking word. It's a wife beater. Like,
damn.
Oh, damn.
It should be like a husband beater shirt for equality.
Mm-hmm.
Word. And for the fans, the usual reminder, we are on YouTube. So if you want to see our Rod in a tank top, and technically, even though you don't have a shirt on, you're doing full-on cosplay because you're doing a Logan.
Nice.
Oh,
one of my childhood heroes.
I see
or
that.
teenagehood.
So it's like, who did it better? At this point,
we'll have a photo Logan of right now here to be able to compare. You decide. Leave comments on YouTube. Tell us right now who did it better.
Oh, I think he takes tests though. It's not fair. I'm not on test.
Listen, man.
Nah, Hugh Jackman is my man. He's the guy.
He's everybody's man. So in the world of news, there's some crazy shit going down. Corporate buffoonery, shenanigans, you name it, tomfoolery. AT&T is separating from WB, which is leading to a merger between, out of all fucking companies, Discovery and WB.
Yeah.
Which, as per Rod's tinfoil hat, I can hear the gears turning, and we're not even in the same borough. Possibilities for the Snyderverse.
Word. Let me break it down a little bit. This corporate fucking news, because I was fucking all in on this when it was happening, right? Because the thing is, these are all companies of AT&T, right? This fucking massive conglomerate that owns like everything that's not Disney for the most part, right? And what ended up happening is because Warner Brothers was specifically under AT&T and their specific kind of management, and so now they're basically saying, "I fuck you, Warner Brothers," and they're completely restructuring Warner Brothers, and they're combining it with Discovery and making basically the guy I think who was the CEO of Discovery like the company, like whatever. I thought it was just a channel, right? Like I don't know, to do nature shit. I guess it does more. And that they're gonna be in charge of Warner, but then in leading the restructuring. So what's happening with that? It seems that most of the people who were in charge, the people who were saying no to Snyder, no to the Snyderverse, are out. They're leaving. They're already mentioning how a lot of them are already, como se dice, filing in their resignations, you know, and doing all that kind of stuff. So the big news from this that I've been seeing, at least on the interwebs, is that people are saying, so now Snyder might be back in business, you know, because like HBO Max and all that's going to be now under the Warner Brothers, this Discovery stuff. And so seeing that the people who didn't like it, and maybe now they'll have actually a person that listens to the fans that says like, fuck, we need more of Snyder. So we don't know that, but that's a big possibility from this.
Right. They got to offer him like a big contract. I don't think I don't know. Army of the Dead just came out today. We're recording on the 21st. So I can't wait to see that. But I think he has other things on the horizon. I don't know. I don't think he wants to like just yet come back. But if he would come back as a producer of like Snyder offshoots, that would be amazing. I'd love to see another director get their hands on like maybe the Nightmare story or anything else, or like the history with the Joker and Batfleck. That'll all make for awesome content.
Or our pitch for a steel gritty series based in
Yup.
between Batman versus Superman and Justice League, somewhere in between there. That's when that happens. Like, we should actually write it, pitch it to the new WB,
Word.
and see if we can like be the showrunners or some shit. I'm sure that's easy.
All right, so while you guys were babbling, I spaced out and I thought of a theory. Hear me out. Put your tinfoil hats on.
Ready.
Snyder, he showed, right, a Green Lantern thing on his phone recently, right?
Yep.
Now, WB is fusing with Discovery. Green Lantern is green. Discovery, the stuff for nature, and nature's represented by the color green. We're getting a Green Lantern movie.
And then a Swamp Thing movie.
That's where I'm at.
Oh.
We out.
They should bring that show back. Bring
Hell
back
yeah, they
Swamp
should.
Thing. Hashtag bring back Swamp Thing.
And I'm glad you
Word.
mentioned about the Snyder with the Green Lantern image, because I think what's been interesting is I don't know if it's maybe because he got wind of this happening, because I felt Snyder's been a lot more what do you say, forthcoming of his dealings with Warner Brothers. He went as far in a recent interview to say that he was tortured by Warner Brothers, that they were just not good with him, and that they just didn't really want to work with him at all. And even that whole thing with the Green Lantern, right, that he fucking filmed it with Jon Stewart and shit, right, and that they were like straight up, nope, you can't do that. And he goes so far to troll Warner Brothers in a way, right, by showing the kind of finished image of this Jon Stewart Green Lantern. So I don't know, maybe hopefully that could be a reason for him to come back.
Yeah,
Now-
I think that DC and Warner don't deserve him, and I hope that he like built his own own franchise epicness that he has full control over. I think on Netflix they're gonna expand his zombie verse, so that's really what I want to see, because I think that Justice League was the perfect swan song. If he ever does come back in the future, okay, but as of now, he is like the boss of bosses.
So
We
essentially,
love you, Zach.
facts. You're kind of hoping that he becomes the Todd McFarlane of superhero movies, or just movies in a way, kind of like where it's like his old director-owned franchises and all this crazy shit.
Like Image Comics type shit.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Like Jeff Johns, right? He's working on an Image book now. I don't know if he's part of this restructuring at Warner, but he's over at Image. Just released a comic book with Gary Frank called Geiger. It's pretty good so far. They're 2 issues in.
Yeah, but I don't know. But
Sorry
Jeff
to deviate
John,
from comic books, but go ahead.
all the shit that's been going, because Jeff John got promoted to like important thing of DC Warner Brothers shit, and then he got kind of fired and demoted from that. And then with all the shit that happened with Joss Whedon and Ray Fisher, I don't think we're gonna see Jeff Johns working in the, at least in the film side, for a while.
He'd be wilding, bro. He'd be bugging out.
Yeah.
Until somebody buys Geiger, and then we get like a series on Netflix or Amazon Prime, blah blah.
Yeah, that's a matter of time.
Speaking of dope series, though, we did get some more fucking awesome DC, now real specific DC news, right? That we're actually gonna get a brand fucking new Batman animated series. At first, I thought it was gonna be like a sequel, because this is something we've all been wanting, but it's not. It's supposed to be a reimagining, right? But it's led by none other than J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, for the director of the new Batman movie, and classic Batman animated showrunner Bruce Timm. It's gonna be for HBO Max and Cartoon Network. It's called Batman: The Caped Crusader.
Oh, it's going
Quick
to both
question.
HBO Max and Cartoon Network. That's dope.
Quick question. Worst iteration of an animated Batman? Which one do you hate the most? Mine would be from The Batman.
Wait. Those are 2 separate questions.
No.
Which
What
one
do
do
you
I hate
mean?
the most, and which one is the worst?
I mean, I pretty much
How are
figured
not
they would
the-
coincide.
Not the
Okay, fine.
same. No.
Which one? Okay. Which one is the worst to you?
Go ahead, Rod.
Ooh,
Go
that's
ahead.
Tough. That's
Look at
tough.
that. I'm a fucking
Wait,
poet.
from only animated series.
Of
Yeah,
course,
animated series. Yeah.
Oh shit! I would say Shadow of the Bat. I think it was called, and only because I didn't even finish season 1.
I've never even heard of that shit.
Yeah, which one's Shadow?
That's the one that's
of
it's like
Bat?
3D. It's like, remember they made a Green Lantern
What?
cartoon, and they made an animated CGI
I remember like the Green Lantern, like
the Green Lantern one is
animated series.
amazing. If you guys have not seen it out there, it's based primarily on the aforementioned Jeff Johns, the genius, comic book genius. It only got a one season, but that one season is still deliciously wonderful. And yeah, there was another like very stylized CGI based Batman animated series. It is on HBO Max, I'd imagine. Is it Shadow or?
I'm Googling it right now and I
Oh,
can't
man,
find it, man.
Yeah, you see, this is why that's probably the worst. Only because like nobody fucking knew about it.
Or just leave it buried, Miguel. Leave it buried. Leave it buried.
No, we must find out.
Wait,
Damn.
what is it?
Because we got
Beware the Batman. No,
Beware the Batman. That's the one.
Yes.
That's the one. That one was trash.
Yeah, did you finish it? I didn't even finish. I had Katana.
Bro, no.
But anyways,
But
yes,
wait, so
you. Go ahead.
But you were saying that's what? That's the because you said which is the one you hated the most and what's the worst one? You said they're different things. So
Yeah.
Oh, which one was that? Which one was? I don't even know anymore.
Well, I mean, for me, it was like I said, the Batman.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's one I hated the most because I didn't finish it. And the worst one, I'd probably have to go back to a pre-Super Friends era, only because
Damn.
like it's terrible. It doesn't hold up. Like Batman the Animated Series, which we'll come back to, is the gold standard. And this new series looks like the child or the spiritual successor of that. Facts. And we thought, I was throwing rumors out that it was going to be a continuation out of the comic book. Oof. But apparently it's a whole new thing. So I'm stoked.
That's crazy. Also, for the record, the Batman also has the Joker I hate the most.
Bro, I'm with you. I'm 100% Ches. That's the animated show I hate the most. I tried to fucking watch it, but exactly just the Joker, the way they have him, like it's like with Rasta hair. Like, what's up with this? Nah, I'm not
voiced by
it.
Troy Baker. Shout out to Troy Baker.
Yeah, word. Shout out to Troy Baker. No
shout out to him for this terrible
No,
Joker.
He also did Assault on Arkham. He did I got a no, that wasn't him on Under the Red Hood. But he did Assault on Arkham. He's great. He did Arkham Origins too, I think.
Yeah. Like I never blamed the voice actor for the shitty animation. They have no connection to that.
That's true.
Okay, not to deviate too much, but that one, which one was that one? The Batman, right?
The Batman.
The one that had like the Bat Wave and shit.
I feel like it got good toward the end when the Justice League comes in. Eventually, Superman and Martian Manhunter and all these characters come in. I felt like it was a good payoff.
Nah, bro, you're a more patient man than us, man. Like honestly, I tried twice. Like I think I tried watching it when it was in the DC Universe app, and then I tried watching it on HBO Max it was on Netflix, right? Once I think. I don't even remember, but like I tried it twice. Nope, no, not que ver. And I'm not gonna put myself through that again. That shit.
Yeah, that Batmobile kind of looks like a new Honda Civic or some shit. Like, no. I'm not done. That whole cartoon.
Bro, the Edge of U2 wrote the intro theme. Well, he plays guitar on it. I don't know if he did write it. He did write it too. It's bad.
Yeah, which is cool, but the show, like the animation, just was not.
Stop hating.
And I don't know, like how much of a selling point that is. Was it the Edge from like the early '90s or the Edge from fucking the 2000s?
No, with the Scully.
Like it's like no, because I'm like the U2 kind of sucks.
It's a transition.
Like, the music they made is like
they tried to force an album down people's throats a few years back. You guys remember that? If you had Apple, like you got the album.
Oh
like,
yeah, you're right.
Damn,
you don't have a choice. You do.
Yo, Bono's gonna make it his personal mission to destroy us. Like,
bring it, Bono. Bring it, motherfucker.
Don't bring it. The man has resources. He's like Ra's al Ghul.
Speaking of resources, HBO Max got fucking resources because now besides Batman the Caped Crusader, we're getting a new Superman animated show, My Adventures with Superman as well. So that's fucking, it's supposed to be about like Superman in his early days, like learning how to become Superman after he just moved to Metropolis and all that. So that's kind of cool. I don't think we've ever actually seen it in an animated way that really properly, like in a both series, not at all, of course.
Yo, I want our fans real quick to go to YouTube to see my brow frowning hard as fuck, because I just realized something. If we get a Static Shock animated series, HBO Max has become a rated R version of Kids WB. It's the same exact lineup.
You know what?
We're getting the world's finest Batman cartoon, Superman cartoon. That's crazy.
I'm upset that Miguel said it's coming to both Max and Cartoon Network. Does this mean that it's going to be like G?
We might get 2 versions. We might get like a G version of
I
Cartoon
wanted
Network.
to see some
Eh,
HBO Max Batman. Like,
That's what
come
I'm saying.
on.
That's what I'm saying. We might get 2 versions, like a G version, just so they can hit every audience as they should. It's Batman, and then HBO Max version where you see like the Joker just blast people's face off and
Yes,
shit.
similar to the uncut version of Return of the Joker, Deep Cuts, Batman Beyond.
Oh,
There's an
facts.
uncut version that's amazing, and then there's the regular version,
Facts.
which is good, but the
Facts.
uncut is the way to go because
Yeah,
Facts.
and I don't know if we're gonna get like uncut versions like that of an animated show because in HBO Max like I don't know if they mean because within HBO Max there's a Cartoon Network like section, you know, where they have awesome shows like Adventure Time, highly fucking recommended. In Infinity Train, fucking bananas fucking show. It's a really good stuff. So they do good animation. So, but I don't know because I don't even know like who watches cable. I don't know. Is there cable? Like is Cartoon Network still on cable? I would just get it from HBO Max. I don't know. Rick and Morty is there fucking on Adult Swim of Cartoon Network. I don't know.
All right, so here's a crazy shit. Here's a crazy shit though. So I love how DC just like the multiverse on fleek. They squeeze the juice out of this shit. So we have a Batman cartoon, a Superman cartoon, and then we're getting Batman and Superman in the Injustice animated movie that's also coming out. So it's like I love how they are masters of reusing the same characters, and I love this shit. And I cannot fucking wait to see Injustice in an animated movie. That shit deserves. I hope that shit is like 3.5 hours long.
Yes.
Now I couldn't be more stoked about that. Like, you know, their previous release based off a video game is again Assault on Arkham. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? So this is like another video game to animated movie adaptation. I mean, the Injustice storyline is sick. I forget who wrote it, but it's a notorious comic scribe.
Tom Taylor, no?
No, the game. A writer wrote the script for the first game. I don't know if it was Mark Waid. No, it wasn't.
I'm on it.
All right. Anyways, so you know, for the fans that don't know, Injustice is a universe where the Joker sets off this flawless death trap for Superman, where I forget exactly the details, but somehow he makes Superman kill Lois. Thinking that I think the Scarecrow's fear toxin may have been involved.
Some shit like
Kryptonite,
that. Yeah.
I don't know, but basically Superman is seeing Doomsday about to kill people in Metropolis, but it's really Lois. And then her death,
which means
detonates a nuclear.
That means that Superman turned Lois into fucking pudding.
And it's in the comic book. You can see this. There's a panel.
That's insane. Like he didn't. Okay, so like I'm gonna put this in perspective because it's so fucking crazy. So the Joker didn't make Superman kill his wife. He made Superman turn his wife into gelatin preserve.
Oh, exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
It's gory, amazing shit. And then her death activates a nuclear bomb within Metropolis. Again, now Superman has literally hit the kill switch on a nuclear missile by killing his wife. Oh my god, what the fuck? Joker's a sick fucker. And of course, Batman does his best to get there to the Joker before Superman does, right? Because oh my god, right? And obviously Superman sees the Joker, runs his fist through the Joker's chest, and from there on out, you get this kind of like deep, dark civil war between Batman and Superman going on. But yeah, can't wait for that animated movie. It's gonna be sick.
Shit, yeah, no, and I know it. So, and also just double check, like the writers for the game, I actually don't know them. It's Brian Chard, Dominic Cianciolo, John Bogle, and John Greenberg.
Okay, so I may have been thinking of Tom Taylor.
Yeah, because that's how I got into Injustice, because I got into reading the Tom Taylor book adaptation of the game, and then I was like, fuck, this is fucking cool. And I've seen you guys play before, and I mean, it's mostly I think I've seen you, Rod, play. And then I'm like, all right, I think, was it for free or I got like in PS Plus, or did I buy an offer or something? But then I realized I remembered that I'm really bad at fighting games, so I'm like, nah.
Facts.
Can't wait to see you play throughout the story. It's dope, but I'm like, I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, it's the best DC fighting game out there. I mean, it's the best we've ever had, made by the people that make Mortal Kombat. You know, sick game.
What are their names?
NetherRealm.
Yeah. Shout out to NetherRealm Studios. Ed Boon. Word. Shout out to Ed Boon for creating Mortal Kombat. Deep cut. But yo, yeah, that story is insane. And when you hear the breakdown of it, all you can say is like Snyderverse who? That story's insane. No disrespect to the Snyderverse, like all hail. But yo, the Injustice story, that's
Yeah.
one of those things like it's so ambitious because you know it's only gonna be on paper and maybe cartoon, which is the beauty, which I'm such a big fan of, like animated features. And I think that they should get way more publicity. They should air animated features in fucking theaters if they want to like film them again. Not
Word.
just, you know what I mean? Like not just like live action because that takes time to make. Air this shit. That'd be insane.
100%. I would fucking go to the movies to go see this film, man. I can't wait. I like, come on. DC's animated films have been dope. This movie has to be fucking the best. And then after reading the book, like it's a good book. And I think just for the fans out there, like you're thinking it's a crazy ass story, but what's really good about the writing is that it's like it's not like it's like this alternate universe Superman that's just like evil, and then you just have to run with it. You know, like the way the story is written, it's like you believe it. It feels like you're reading the characters from the canon, DC universe, that everything went wrong. It like exactly the right things had to happen or the wrong things had to happen for Superman to snap, and it's not like, at least in the comic book, it's not because in the video game it's a little bit different, right? I think he's already full on like almost like Emperor Superman, is he? Because in the comic book it takes a while for him to really become this.
I think it's like Chancellor Superman or something.
Yeah, High
that,
Chancellor.
High Chancellor. Yeah, High Chancellor Superman. Which like I've noticed there are different iterations of a snap Superman. Like I think there's like an Emperor Superman. There's a High Chancellor Superman. Once again, the fucking multiverse.
The Nightmare Superman.
Yeah, like Nightmare Superman. Like it's amazing. But yeah, like dude, I honestly cannot wait to see this shit happen. And like I said, I hope it's like 3.5 hours long. 2 discs. Each one is 3.5 hours long. 7 hours. Yeah. And now after the whole slew of DC news, we were biased as fuck just now, even though I'm with it. We're gonna give you guys just a little droplet of some info from the MCU. We finally know, and I feel like this is being deceitful, but considering the power level, I kind of get where this shit is going. The big baddie from the Doctor Strange 2 movie has been revealed and is allegedly Shuma Gorath, which is for a quick little breakdown, as concise as possible. Shuma Gorath is an ancient god with a capital G. That means like on the level of like the Judeo-Christian god, like up there type shit. And is the god of like 100 alternate universes. And he kind of looks like Starro from DC, but just on a way more powerful level. And this is not your grandparents' kaiju. He's not fighting Power Man and shit, like, or whatever.
Ultraman. He's like a big octopus with an eyeball, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. I know him from the Marvel Superheroes Capcom fighting game throwback, another deep cuts for the fans. They actually made him playable, like a really obscure Marvel. I don't think I'd ever seen that character outside of that game. So it'd be cool to see like a full-on MCU version. It's gonna be sick.
Which, and just like to put it in perspective, it's like if in part 1 he fought Dormammu, technically negotiated to a standstill because that's all he could do to that level of a god, to then fight, what's his name again?
Shuma Gorath.
Then it's like, okay, so this would be a step up from Dormammu, and apparently it is. So holy shit, that's crazy.
He's a god on like multiple worlds. Is he a god on
multiple universes?
The Sam Raimi verse.
That's what I no. Okay, so the way I see it is like that's all like, yeah, fuck it. Like that's probably like, damn, it's too crazy. But I'm just going off for the fact that at that level of power, it can alter realities at will. So it just does some crazy shit that just like it shakes up. I don't fucking like. It's too big of a power level to even speculate. Like I'm too stupid.
Yeah, no, it's bananas. I don't really know much about the character actually, other than what it looks like, and that's it, right? And quick Wikipedia, going what Chess is saying. One of the things I guess just for the Marvel people that might know is like Shuma Gorath is one of the 4 undying extra-dimensional multi-angled ones, and he got involved in an invasion from the Cancerverse. If anybody read some of the think it was a Thanos imperative book. But it's crazy. The powers are crazy.
Cancerverse, bro.
Exactly.
That's a thing.
That is
That's
a thing.
insensitive, Marvel.
Word.
No, I'm playing. It's genius.
It's a pretty good story, the Cancerverse one. It got introduced. But anyway, but my only thing is like, because that's the one thing I didn't like about Doctor Strange of the movie. I wasn't a big fan of how they showcased Dormammu, because like in the books, Dormammu's like mad epic, and in the movie, it was just like this epic big being, but they didn't really do much, right? Like he wasn't really like the main villain, like it felt like throughout the movie, no, like the main antagonist. And so I don't know with Shuma Gorath it would be the same thing, or but we'll see. Because also, like, isn't like Scarlet Witch supposed to be involved in the movie? Like, how is this? Is a multiverse? We'll see what happens.
Dude, that's how big this fucking villain is. Like, this story's gonna involve Scarlet Witch, like a slew of Spider-Men, alternate realities, like none of the shit that was involved in.
I mean, we don't know if the Spider-Men are gonna be in this, right? We're just speculating heavily.
I'm with it.
I don't think any Spider-Man's gonna be in this one, honestly. I think they're gonna wait for the Spider-Man 3.
Wait, but isn't Doctor Strange gonna be in Spider-Man 2? So I legit think that they're gonna interconnect the movies that deeply. Like they're gonna run that experiment.
Who knows, man? Who knows? That would
like
be
their
fucking
sequels
dope.
to one another or some shit.
No, not even sequels. Just like there's gonna be parts of the movie that intersect with each other.
Oh, like parallel type
cool.
movies.
Yo. I just thought of that now. Legit, that should just hit, because look at the level of power we're dealing with. Doctor Strange, a flourished Wanda Maximoff, a thing that looks weird but is apparently super powerful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this shit is crazy. We might have like parallel adventures happening at the same time. And to be honest, I'd be willing to like just go with it, because why not? Why not try it and see if it works?
Yo, Disney, fucking AT&T, Warner Bros. was good. Listen to all the good shit we're giving you. Just give us, come on,
for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Word, yo.
It was just a consultant fee or something. I don't know. Whatever. Something. We got this.
Fuck yeah, like free Beanie Baby, some shit.
But now, speaking of, because I want to hear Ches go into this a little bit more, because I know you are the resident lover of the next news point. We're going to move from fucking Marvel and DC now to something a little bit random, but close to our hearts, because our good man, Henry Cavill, has now been cast to star in the Highlander reboot.
Yes. Woo. And well, just a quick side note, that would be both myself and Rod that tend to be Highlander fans.
I don't know, man. I've heard you talk about Highlander a lot in the show before. Like Roz mentioned it. Like I know about Highlander, but like you're like, I don't know, on another level, bro.
That's because my opinion, that franchise should not fade into the annals of time, like in memory. Fuck that shit. That shit should be discussed every now and then. It should be kept alive. And I'm so happy that we're getting a fucking remake. So now all the old school shit gets a resurgence. So shout out to Christopher Lambert for playing like the OG. What's his name, Rod? The OG member of Clan McLeod, Connor.
I think he's Connor. Yeah,
Connor McLeod. Shout out to fucking.
And then Sean Connery's like his teacher, right?
Yeah, what's his name? Ramirez, the Spaniard.
Juan Sanchez or something like that, it says here.
No, Ramirez or some shit like that, I remember, because Clancy Brown plays the Kurgan in the original Highlander movie. Yeah, Deep Cuts. Fuck yeah. And who plays the other dude? Christian Paul or some shit like that.
Oh, fuck. I was just researching him the other day.
Technically, actually, although I've never, but I'm good at
Adrian
Googling.
Paul.
Adrian Paul, yeah.
Sean Connery's character is called Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez.
Yeah, damn. The Spaniard, also known as the Peacock, aka this movie's on this shit. I'm so happy about this. I'm genuinely excited.
And good. See, that's what I ment. Like you're excited. Rod's like he's happy about it.
Yeah.
Too, but,
okay. And I wonder if it's gonna be we're talking about a series or a movie here.
I don't know, actually. I read the news, and I don't think it was very clear, or I just didn't read it good enough. but like it said something about, because Henry Cavill was saying about the franchise, so I'm assuming it must be a movie.
Yeah. And just for the fans, because we really haven't explained anything about the lore.
Yes,
so,
do it, please, for me.
yeah.
Explain it, because I don't know much about it.
All right, so super quick. So apparently, throughout all of time on Earth, there's been something happening just simply called the game. So every single epic hero throughout history, every single major, possibly even like the religious figures and shit like that throughout time, epic adventurers, all humans are born, right? Some humans are born with like an innate sense of like immortality that it gets activated if you die a tragic death. Now, if you die a tragic death, you activate your sense of immortality and you're forced into the game. So throughout history, all immortals basically have to hunt each other down and collect each other's heads. And now there's like certain rules, like they can't fight in graveyards or hallowed ground, yada yada yada. But the point is, they can,
this is awesome.
They can only fight with blades, no automatic weapons, because it's like a timeless weapon. Man has always had blades. So
I got a question. All right. Because I really don't really know almost anything about it. I know the very basic premise of shit, but not any of this.
Yeah,
no, but even like with this, so for example, they're immortal. How? Like, is it like, because if they chop their heads, they're dead. Yeah.
No, yeah.
But if they suffer injuries, they kind of heal, like Wolverine.
Yep.
Like that? Oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's the because there's something called the source. It's kind of like the wellspring for all life that selects like all immortals to join the game. And so they live throughout time and history, and they collect skills and memories and experiences. So when they fight on one, which is the only way that it can be done, if one immortal kills another, that immortal gains all the experience, skills, and memories and knowledge of the other immortal. So they all hunt each other down because the point of the game is, and this is where the hashtag of like the whole franchise comes in, there can be only one. So the point is, they all have to fight throughout time until there's one remaining immortal, and then he inherits a connection with all living life.
And I'd like to add to that, Ches. Thank you for that lovely explanation. Also, there's been the movie with Christopher Lambert, right? It's an OG movie, probably mid 80s,
a few movies.
Imagine. Yeah, a few movies. Yeah, it's a franchise of movies.
Yeah.
And you have the TV series with Adrian Paul. And then those two franchises connect in the movie Endgame, which I love. Fuck, it must be cheesy as hell to watch now, but
that shit is so epic.
I don't know if it holds up. But and then deep cuts. Madhouse Studios made an anime of Highlander, which I'm gonna go back and rewatch because I'm loving Castlevania on Netflix.
Yes.
I'm trying to dive back in. I just started watching it again. Same studio. I love that art style. It's gorgeous, right? And they did a Highlander feature, and it looks just as beautiful.
Oh my god!
Check that out for the deep cut.
Oh yeah, Highlander: The Search for Vengeance. That's the anime one from by Madhouse. That looks fucking dope.
Dude, I love their shit. Vampire Hunter D, Ninja Scroll.
Oh shit! That's them.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh my god!
Bro, when I found out that they were doing Castlevania, I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be gorgeous. But yeah, I kind of got sour with Netflix. You guys, the fans know why. You know, they lost the Marvel shit. But yeah, but now I'm back. So.
Anyway. You're right. That's why you haven't seen Castlevania, because now you're barely back with Netflix. Good, man. The fans out there, you know, Rod is fucking dedicated. He's a loyal motherfucker, right? Like as soon as Netflix canceled, because if you're listening to us for the first time, when Netflix, what was it? They lost Marvel, right? Basically,
right.
That's when you were like,
amazing shows. But then they gained Jupiter's Legacy, which we'll review in an upcoming episode. They gained Army of the Dead, which we'll also review, which I'm stoked to see. And then they're gaining all these fucking amazing shows and shit.
All right, guys. So honestly, I haven't seen. I think I saw Highlander 2 like when I was a kid and shit, but not really. I'm actually down to revisit these fucking movies, these epic shit, to get ready for Henry Cavill's reboot.
Oh my god, dude! Like it's so amazing. It's like it is one of the best fictional properties, in my opinion, of all fucking time.
Yo, I got so hyped talking about Highlander, I forgot it was tied to news with Henry Cavill. Yes, I am stoked to watch this movie. Obviously, Henry Cavill's a hero, right? So
yeah,
He's gonna
Now
crush it.
just-
And also, The Witcher's on Netflix, which you guys rave about. So I gotta
Oh,
watch that.
Lord,
I
you-
gotta
wait.
eventually watch it.
Rod, you
Oh my
haven't
God.
seen The
No.
Witcher?
No, no, yeah, he's a jerk. He's a jerk. He's a jerk.
I've
He's a
heard the
fucking
theme
jerk.
song thanks to Ches many times, sung by Matt Heafy.
Well, it's not
Shout
the
out to
theme-
Matt
it's-
Heafy.
It's not the
rendition.
theme song. It's not the
No?
theme song,
Okay.
actually. It's a song that comes out in the show by fucking Jaskier. What's his name? Jaskier in the show, right? But Dandelion
Jaskier,
in
yeah,
the book.
but in the books is supposed to be Dandelion the Bard.
Yeah, the Bard.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not get too
Yeah,
sidetracked. but we're happy for Henry Cavill fucking being Superman, Witcher, and now fucking one of the Highlanders.
One of the McClouds, probably.
McClouds, yes.
Word, which I was gonna ask, like, I wonder who he's gonna be. Like, that'd be so epic. And just a quick tidbit on Henry Cavill, because the man is apparently a god with a capital G again. Because he's also a highly skilled computer gamer. The dude builds his own PCs and shit for gaming. You can see it on his Instagram. And while you're at it, you should also check out our Instagram after you follow his.
Yes.
Or maybe don't follow him. He has enough followers. He has millions.
Give us the follow.
Exactly.
We'll feed you Henry Cavill's feed if you follow us. We'll repost his shit. Just follow us. Come on. He's got
Like
too
Henry
many.
Cavill dealers. You want to see some Henry Cavill in a corner looking shady?
Yeah, I got some Cavill.
Bro, he's burly, manly. Yo, I
Fucking plays video
challenge
games.
Warner
Yo.
Brothers to find a better Superman.
Damn, son, I'd be hard pressed. Or I had this thought earlier. Injustice might be the perfect opportunity to introduce the Nicolas Cage Superman.
Damn.
But then he'd have to fight Michael Keaton Batman. Oh,
Oh, all right. Well,
that's it. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Let's not do this right now.
Let's fucking go.
all right, but just because we got one last news point just to quickly touch on, and I think we were mentioning earlier before we got on recording, on air or whatever this fucking shit is, about like we don't really talk about comic book actual news too much, but I think this was just pretty cool to mention that right now Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's a famous novelist, an incredible writer for many magazines, fucking shit. He's been writing Black Panther for like I think almost 2 years, 3 now. It's been an epic run. Took Black Panther to fucking space and shit. Awesome stuff. He's gonna be ending his run officially, I think, in August, and it's gonna be picked up by none other than John Ridley, who's the screenwriter for the movie 12 Years a Slave, and who's been writing right now the next Batman book that came out of the future state stuff that we talked about not that long ago. Actually, we talked about it a bit when we interviewed Dan Mora, which that's when he joined the Detective Comics books, writing the future state, drawing the future state Batman. And this is John Ridley's been writing the new Batman, who's supposed to be one of the foxes. It was like the forgotten son, not Batwing, not Lucius, somebody else. I forgot his name.
I was wondering who that was. Okay, he's a new. He's not Lucius. I thought it was Lucius Fox.
Actually, and I started reading it. I didn't love it too much. I didn't love it because it was the future state shit. So I'm like, is this
Luke
Elseworld?
Sorry, Luke
Right,
Fox.
right, not Luke Fox, because Luke is
the father.
Batwing. Lucius is
Yeah.
exactly
I was
right.
like,
Freeman.
wait, is it
My
Lucius
bad.
Meadow?
Right.
Yeah, picture old ass. I
Hey.
was like, what?
Hey, Jim Gordon was Batman, and Scott Snyder's a Batman
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
You never know,
in
man.
a
Take some
fucking-
roids, some
In a
tests.
fucking mech suit, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
He
it was
hit
a
a
big-
mech suit partner.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, yeah, you're right. But it was a little bit weird that he was kind of like doing it on his own. I'm like, aren't you really old? But whatever. Yeah, but who knows? Yeah, Lucius could do it. Maybe he would not want to, probably, but he could do it. But he's been writing this new Batman, and so far I've heard good reviews. There's a new one that's happening now in canon, which is called Batman Next Son. But now he's going to be writing Black Panther for Marvel, and with illustrated by Alex Ross, the covers for this book, and it sounds pretty dope.
That's fucking pretty lit. And a quick fucking side note, just a quick shout out to Dan Mora. They need to hurry up and upload that Batman skin into the fucking Injustice game. That'd be pretty lit to play that shit. Yeah, definitely made me think about that. But yeah, dude, and that's pretty fucking crazy. Like, to take Black Panther into space. Like, I had never read that run, but that's some epic shit to even picture. I wonder if I could find those volumes individually. Like, I want to read just that story.
Yes, yeah, it is actually. It is. I think there are 2 or 3 volumes. They're separate. I think the one of them is free on Comixology. and it's actually, you can start because there's a book before that that actually you don't have to read, but it's pretty good. But it's then that space one. It starts with, but basically he's just randomly in space and doesn't know who he is. So you actually don't even, and there's like Wakandans have been colonizing fucking space. Okay,
What?
so it's crazy, and he doesn't remember who he is. He's just like a sorta like a slave in space. It's a cool book, and it's illustrated, I think, by Daniel Acuña, who's like fantastic artist. It's really fucking dope. I would recommend that.
That's crazy. And you said that was on Comixology free, right? Which means it was unlimited.
I think so. I think so. We'll check. Go check,
Okay.
fans.
Cool. All right, word. But you know what is on fucking Comixology Unlimited? The first pick of the LOZ's fucking book club,
LoZ Comic Book Club.
which we're gonna fucking get into right now. Woo! I'm excited. It's fucking Gotham Central. Let's all fucking talk about it. The first arc. I completely forgot who it's written by. You guys do that part.
Yes, Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka, illustrated by Michael Lark. Although technically the first volume was 10 issues, as we've told you fans to read and follow along with us. The first two arcs, I think they're primarily written by Ed Brubaker, and then the last one is written primarily by Greg Rucka. But they both shared in the creating of all the show and all that. But the show, the book.
But it reads like a show. And also,
Yeah,
our
man.
first LOZ book club review is brought to you by whatever the fuck Miguel's drinking.
That is correct. So for today's drink of the week, we're drinking. Well, we're gonna do a two-parter for this one. I'm sure I've done it before. So I got a little bit still left of some Brugal ron. Porque está haciendo calor. It's fucking hot out here, so nothing quite like some fucking rum to
That
chill.
makes total sense.
And then you just follow that with some Captain Dynamite
Woo!
IPA,
Yeah.
man.
Let's
Voodoo
go.
Ranger. They make great IPAs, and this is a good beer for the summer, for like, well, spring, hot days in spring. And was fantastic to be drinking this as I was reading Gotham Central.
Lit. Fucking awesome. And to be honest, an altered state of mind is the best way to read comic books. You know what I started doing? I started reading comic books while I've been blasting binaural beats in my headphones. Trippy as shit. Look into that, folks. Cool shit. But yo, fucking shout out as a Dominican to Rene Montoya, who is like the only Dominican character in comic books that I have ever heard of. I don't know who the fuck created the character. I gotta find out and bring that up in our next episode, unless anybody wants to bring that up as fast as possible. But shout out to the character fucking Montoya. Awesome storyline. And it took me a while to even register that there's like a day shift and a night shift in the story.
Right.
But
So
then-
let's break it down for the fans, like a little bit about what the setting is, right? But exactly, but as Ches is saying, just for those of you, if you're listening for the first time, and if you're watching us on YouTube, I don't know, maybe you'll notice. I don't know, but we're Latino, all of us, right? But we got fucking Rod and Ches are Dominican. Well, and Rod's also what, Cuban, right?
Cubano.
Exacto, Cubano. Yo soy Mexicano. And so it's obviously always great to fucking see representation like that in the books. And I was surprised. I had no idea that Rene Montoya was Dominican until this book. There's an actual fucking, like, I remember like Rod shared it in our chat, and it literally says in the panel like that her family just immigrated from the DR. Like, that's
All right.
dope.
And just to answer Chez's earlier question, the character was created by Mitch Bryan. And interestingly enough, she wasn't fully fleshed out by him, although she did appear in the comic books before the animated series, which is where I was introduced to the character. And the first time I heard someone speak Spanish in an American cartoon, like I was like, that blew my mind. I'm like, yo, there's like, she's speaking Spanish on a Batman cartoon. And then like later on in this run with Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka, they applied the Dominican-ness. She was always Latina, sort of, because she was speaking Spanish, like I mentioned. But yeah,
dude,
so she's co-created by also Bruce Timm and Paul Dini.
Yeah.
Oh,
My whole thing
dope.
is I encourage people to go on Google Earth and look up the Dominican Republic. It's half an island. It's the island of Hispaniola, and we share that shit with Haiti. So
Shout out to Haiti.
Shout out to Haiti. So how the fuck did Paul Dini and Bruce Timm decide, out of all places on
They
Earth?
threw a dart. They're like, boom, what is that?
Yo, that is the only logical. Or like,
I don't know.
what-
It makes me wonder. Like, maybe is one of them from New York or lived in New York? Because also though, like
word.
the setting, right? Because it's Gotham, no, and Gotham gives you New York City vibes. It doesn't feel like LA, you know. It doesn't feel like Chicago. Like it fucking feels like New York City, man. Like it feels like we were watching like some gritty New York City police show, you know.
Absolutely. Like I recently started watching The Wire, which is really good. I've
yes.
never seen it, so I started it.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's like, you know, a deep detective, war on drugs kind of deal.
Yeah.
Based in Baltimore, that one, yeah.
Yeah, and so this comic book kind of reminds me of that. So we're in the major crimes unit, the MCU, right? Before the MCU.
Ooh.
I don't know. Somebody has to fact check me. I don't know which one was first, but anyway.
No, they were first. They were
Yeah,
first.
At that point, when we jump into this book, for some reason, Harvey Bullock, because he's a jerk, but he's actually a good guy, right? So he's out of the department. Commissioner Gordon is not the current commissioner, and the story revolves around a series of detectives. You know, we're highlighting Rene Montoya because she's the shit. Also had a live action appearance in the was a fantabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn, played by the most Puerto Rican woman on the planet. That
Rosie Perez.
Yes,
you know, like
Perez.
they
That's
should
so
have got. I
offensive.
mean, I don't want to sound like a SJW, but they should have got a Dominican actress. You know
Yo,
what I
but
mean?
no,
Yeah.
honestly, it matters because I thought that Rene Montoya was Puerto Rican until like
see what I'm
Rod
saying?
straight up
Like,
gave me the panel, like, yo, bro, DR. It's like, oh
Like,
shit.
like
It matters.
that-
It matters.
That's when, like, no, I was gonna say one of the few times, but fuck that. It technically always matters until I made that weird point. That's like, okay, so like the store have to be, you know, like Scandinavian.
I know.
but at the same
They
time,
gave
when
her
it
the
comes to
description,
that,
like, I could be Dominican.
Yeah,
She's like, I
exactly,
can be
but
whatever you want me to be.
when it comes to that point, it's like it shows you that it's lazy because all those islands are close together in the region of the Caribbean. So for the people who cast, we're like, yeah, we could get a fucking Puerto Rican person to play Dominican. Who we're gonna get? Do you know any famous Puerto Ricans? Who? John Leguizamo? No, it's a woman. Oh yeah, let's get Rosie Perez. That's
she
how
was
that
good.
conversation went. But so what? Fuck them for that. That's crazy.
But low key, I secretly enjoyed that movie. Like, I think it had
I still haven't seen
its
it.
high points, but I do want to see. I'm hoping to see like we also got a live action Renee Montoya in Gotham. She was there
Oh,
for maybe
word,
a
we did.
season. She had a love interest of Barbara
forgot about that.
Kane, right? I think Barbara
Yeah.
Kane is
Yep.
her
Yep.
name.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, who was like this crazy. She's just like, I don't know what her shit was. She's like a schizophrenic or some shit. Anyway,
I felt like they tried to make her like a Harley Quinn-ish type
Word,
of person,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
But
That's
like,
definitely what they try to do.
I
so,
don't
yeah,
know,
definitely
I
some
guess-
shades of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And they even had in the final season like a Harley Quinn, right? Working for the
Right.
Joker.
Right.
Yo, shout out to Gotham.
Yeah, Gotham.
Word.
Well, and I'm glad you bring that up, right? Because I think the Gotham Central was published a while ago. I think it came out in fucking 2002. Okay, so before fucking the MCU, before fucking Gotham. But the idea is that people thought that Gotham was supposed to be based off of Gotham Central, and then obviously they ended up not doing that at all. And then the rumors are now that the Gotham show for HBO Max from the Battison universe is supposed to be based off of this book. Maybe, but we'll see. We'll see, right? But
Yeah,
continue,
and
Rod. Tell us what the book is
okay.
about.
Yeah, so earlier you mentioned how basically one of the writers may be from New York. They have to be because this book is written. This book satisfies my indie comic book need. Like, I like to read a major and an indie. With this one, I get both because you get this like gritty crime drama with the occasional badass appearance of, let's say, the Joker, but I think that's beyond book one. But Mr. Freeze, who else do we get in that first book?
We had
Any other
Mr.
major
Freeze in
villains?
the first arc, and then we had sort of Firefly in the second arc.
Yeah, Firebug.
Right,
I think is
Firebug.
what
The
it was.
Firebug, and then the
Firebug.
third one was fucking Two-Face. That
Yeah,
was the
word.
Rene Montoya heavy story, which is fucking great, man.
And a quick side note, right? I think it also satisfies your fetish for noir.
Yes,
Yes.
very much so. So like the cops, you know, they're so historically Gotham PD seems kind of like a corrupt system. Like I mentioned, Commissioner Gordon's not
OD.
there. Harvey Bullock was dismissed. So these are like the kind of like the good cops, although you know there's some that straddle the line more than others. So it's a good exploration of this crimes unit, you know, each of their individual stories, revelations about certain characters like Rene Montoya, which, you know, for the fans that don't know, she's an openly gay character in the DC universe.
Word.
And I think that was established as canon in this run. if I'm not
Word, because she
Nice.
was not openly gay in the book, right? Because we saw it in this story, the third one.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, exactly. Well, exactly.
Nerd.
From
I
the
mean,
big
do we
feature.
do spoiler alert from this? Because this shit is
No,
fucking
right?
old.
Came out in
Like,
2002, you know. And when people know, I think that Rene Montoya is a lesbian, but like she gets outed by Two-Face, which we'll
Word.
get into.
Ironically enough, if you think about it, like,
But another thing about like why this is how this is very fucking New York as well too. I think just the fact that there's a bodega. There's a
Yeah.
fucking bodega. Like, guys, I'm from fucking California. I'm from San Diego. I lived in LA. There's no bodegas. Okay. O sea, there's like corner stores and shit like that, but not como aquí, not like the bodegas that we have here in New York City. And like, cause like Rene Montoya's parents own a bodega and they live above it. Right. I'm like, that's fucking New York right there,
word.
man.
Yeah, I'm saying like a Dominican mom, it seems like to me, would shun from Dominican Republic, you know, like a first generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the daughter, Renee, is the first generation, right? Like it
Mhm.
seems like that would be the reaction. So it does seem like the writers maybe like, you know, talk to some people, you know, like maybe like, you know, learned a little bit more about it. But yeah, they even mentioned places like the Heights. You know, they mentioned
Mhm.
bridges in the drawing, in the landscape drawings. You obviously see the Empire State Building. Like it's a very New
Yeah.
York book.
Very New York. Exactly. So then the idea of the book for the fans out there, right? It's like, so it's that we have basically, it's a day in the life, almost like, or days in the life of this major crime units of the GCPD, which they're focused on. The major crimes are the crimes related to the supervillains in a way, right? And so they're kind of focusing on that kind of stuff. And what's awesome is that, so they have the night shift and then they have the day shift as well. And so the first two stories are focused on the night shift, which the protagonist is Marcus Driver, a detective who the book straight up starts, and we mentioned this in a previous episode, with his partner getting killed by fucking Mr. Freeze, because they're following up on like this a kid that got kidnapped. They're trying to find. They had a tip that it might be in this apartment, and then they go and it's fucking Mr. Freeze there. And the partner gets fucking frozen, and then not just frozen, right? Because he gets frozen, and then Mr. Freeze tries to teach them a lesson and breaks this fucking detective, you know, up. So he's the protagonist for these two stories, and then they're trying to solve the case, especially now because the partner died, before Batman solves the case, right? Because they're like, you know, this is our person, this is like, we have to do it ourselves. And then they have the day shift, where that's led by Rene Montoya and her partner, which I forgot his name, but he was a cool guy too. And her whole drama.
Oh, Crispin Allen.
Yes.
Right?
Crispus, no?
Crispus Allen.
Yes.
Who might be like a historical shout out to Crispus Attucks, the first black dude that died or some shit like that.
Really?
Like, well, yes, there wasn't like the Civil War, I think, or something like that. Yeah, he was like the first person that died on the front lines or something like that. African American gentleman, I think. Yeah, dude.
Also,
So
this character becomes the host of the Spectre at some. Oh shit! Is that a spoiler? They're not a spoiler. These are old books.
Yeah, it's fine.
But
as long as those stories don't happen, I think within Gotham Central, they
Yeah.
happen, I
I
think,
don't
outside and in the other. Because honestly, Gotham Central, this is like, it's like Rod said, it feels like a very indie book. Like, it's strange to how much you can enjoy fucking panel after panel of office scenes. Like, it's
Yo.
yeah,
just like,
exactly.
it's just the office, and it's
It's
just them.
engaging
I
as
love it.
fuck. It's
Love
engaging as fuck. Like, and just like Miguel said, like, when I read that part, when the first two detectives, one was going home, Driver legit convinced them, hey, let's go check this tip out real quick, and then you could go home. Dude was on his way home for the evening. You know what I mean? Probably jerk off, bang his wife, combination of the two, eat some dinner, shit like that. Then fucking,
The guy's
then
a
he's
healthy sexual appetite. Jerk off. Then I'm gonna bang my wife.
Hey, yo, a little bit of both, like, damn. And it's like in the middle of the night too, like he's tired, like 4 a.m.
Eat a
like,
steak.
dude, it'd
And
be like
smoke a
that.
cigarette.
Then, you know, like his boy convinces him, like, yo, we do justice. Follow me, you know what I mean? Like, let's go check this out. He's like, all right, whatever, fine. And just like Miguel said, they walk in the room. When I saw Mr. Freeze in the room, my heart's froze. But fucking like, yo, that shit was crazy. And in my head, I'm like, he's okay. So they weren't after him. So Freeze isn't like well, he's evil, but he's not savage. You know what I mean? So I thought he was probably just gonna like freeze their feet and just leave. No, he froze one of them. Which at that point, I thought dude was gonna walk away. No, he broke homie in half and completely kills him. The dude that was gonna go home.
And it's confirmed that Mr. Freeze did that, right?
Yeah.
Or do they leave it up in the air to be picked up?
Nah, there's a panel. I think there's a panel that
No, yeah, it was Mr.
like
Freeze.
there's a panel, yeah, that Freeze broke him. Like,
or maybe that story isn't over.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wait, what do you mean? What that the dude is dead after getting broken?
Oh no, that like exactly like you said, like who led them to that apartment and why?
Oh no,
that we don't know exactly.
That we don't know. That's still up in the air.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is like the savagery of that is crazy. And then he freezes the other dude's hands, driver, and says like, "Yo, tell your boys what I did." And then he walks away. That shit was crazy.
Mm-hmm. And then building off of that, what Rod said about the story not completely ending there, right? Because like as we mentioned, which was in a very, como se say, passing way, right? It starts with investigating the missing, a kidnapped girl, right? And then all of a sudden it becomes about fucking Mr. Freeze because they killed the partner, right? But then they, in the second story, because the first story is called In the Line of Duty, and then the second arc is called Motive. And then that's it gets Driver back after, you know, because at the end of that first story, it's a great story of them trying to figure out where is Mr. Freeze, what is he up to, what was he planning, and then he eventually, you know, they're able to stop him. But what's awesome, right? Because then they eventually, como he said, give in and they request Batman's help. But what's great is that there's no Batman's just like not even a side character, you know, it's kind of just like a thing that happened, you know, a presence. Which, and then go for it.
No, because like that just gave me some insight. I legit hadn't fucking thought about that till you guys said it. It made us feel how the cops feel regarding Batman. Because for them, Batman is also a presence. Yo, that shit did not hit me till you guys just said that right now. Because it was kind of crazy also to see how they don't abhor Batman, but it's like they resent him. Like they know that the city's too crazy for them. So they're like, fuck, this one asshole could do all this shit. But at one point, like, well, actually, at several points, I caught myself saying, I haven't seen Batman in a minute, and I don't give a shit story-wise. But it's because we felt how the cops felt.
And what I love, knows everything about them and shit. Mm-hmm. He knows who has what shift, blah, blah, blah.
And he can impersonate them, like epically confuse them. That's in the Rene Montoya story where he like tries to get, I think it was Christmas or something, he acts as somebody else, and then just they give him information. But that's another thing I like, that the book kind of does show that Batman does rely on them to some degree, right? Because obviously Batman is just fucking one man, well, one Bat family. And because even for the Mr. Freeze one, they end up finding out who's Mr. Freeze's target is and what's going to happen. And so then they end up deciding putting the bat signal on, and then they tell Batman, right? And then Batman fucking does the work that's hard for them to do. And so that's cool to see that part. Like it makes it feel much more fucking real, like Gotham, the way it actually would work with all that kind of stuff. It's fucking cool. And what we were mentioning, right? So then it started with the kidnapping, but then the second story picks up the kidnapping, which ended up not being a kidnapping, and it was like a murder. And then they were trying to get the cops off their the tail. Like maybe that's why they ended up going to Mr. Freeze, because the Firebug try to get him off the scent of that, then killed it. But it's just gritty. It's a kid that got fucking killed. Like it's fucked up. It's dark, and it's not like action packed. It's not like fucking a bunch of people jumping and but it's just gritty, well written fucking dialogue that it just grips you, and you care, I think, about these like the all the characters, no?
Which, yeah, man, for example, like, I can't relate to the struggle that Montoya had because I'm not gay, but her struggle felt real. You know what I mean? Like, when she got in the car, when she came back for her parents' apartment, that she broke down crying, like, a disconnected part of my head said, I'm glad that the writers didn't make that work. That was good. Like, oh, shit. Because I expected, like, oh, everything's going to be fine. Like, nah. Her parents were like, fuck you.
Right. So not to get too ahead, because like for that, so this was the longest story. This one lasted fucking 4 issues, half a life, which it's all about Two-Face, which I don't know how, it must have been from some other Batman story, but Two-Face has an obsession with Rene Montoya. and
Yeah,
wants
word.
to be like with her. And so what he decides to do is destroy her life. And he ends up like hiring somebody to, como he says, stalk her and take photos of her. And little does he know that she's lesbian, takes photos of her making out with her girlfriend. That then he sends photos to the GCPD, sends photos to her parents. And while all this is happening, then he also frames fucking Rene Montoya for murder. It's like he's destroying Rene Montoya's life.
Word.
Right, so she's dealing with that, right? Her career fucking falling apart, trying to prove that she's innocent.
Yo, he's
right?
savage.
Yo, savage.
Fucking stage 1 clinger. Yo, fuck.
And it's like
That's the
insinuated
alpha
that
clinger.
they had like a history together of some kind. I like how he just dismisses completely her sexuality.
Bro, you read my fuck. Yo,
Yeah,
I
think I
literally
laughed in those panels.
that sentence that you just said went through my head 5 minutes ago. I shit you.
Yo, because for the fans out there, what's exciting as you're reading is that I'm assuming if you read it, you know, we're awesome. You're enjoying it as much as we did. If not, you're going to read it now. Hopefully after this, we don't know it's Two-Face until like the third issue in.
Word.
You know, we don't know who's fucking doing this, Rene Montoya. And when all this happens, and then Two-Face finally, because like she's going to jail because she's been accused for murder, he takes her, and like they have this awesome confrontation where like Rene Montoya's like, I'm fucking gay, man. Like, I'm like, how are we gonna be together? And Two-Face like, well, I don't care about
What does
that.
that mean?
Like that's not relevant to this situation.
Like it's not a real thing to him. Yo, he's toxic. Yo, down with Harvey Dent.
Yo, and honestly, even with that, like that's dope how they even show how really fucking crazy the villains are, right? Like it's not like it's like that's we don't see that kind of craziness with Batman, right? Where like he's like, yo, his way of getting Rene Montoya to be with him is destroying her life, outing her as gay, right, as lesbian, but still thinking that they're gonna be a love interest, you know, that they're gonna be romantically involved. Like what?
Well, exactly. And going off of what we were saying earlier, dude, like animated series. Come on now. Now, animated series, not even animated feature. They can stretch this shit out. And mind you, this is only book 1 that we've been talking about. And look at how layered it is. Like, it's so crazy. And one of the most bugged out things is just like, it's kind of like at one point, the officers, I think it was even like both shifts or some shit like that. I'm not sure if it was both shifts, but they were in the commissioner's office complaining about Batman. But it's like, hey, it's obvious that the shit he covers, you can't cover. So why are you complaining? That doesn't make any sense. So you rather the people he saves die than I don't even know. Like I don't even
make you
understand.
irrelevant, right? I mean, they do have an argument in that sense because in a sense he can make them seem irrelevant because he is Batman.
Seem is the key word though, but they're not. He's
They
not
want
an
shine.
army.
They want to
Exactly.
shine.
Exactly. He's like, what the?
There's a lot of that too in this
word.
series, like inter-office envy and you know, people making friends of romantic relationships people have had. Like it's all drama.
Love
That's
it.
the beauty of it. It's a different DC comic book. It's not you know, Superman punching Lois Lane in space.
It's wait, Superman punching Lois Lane
like
in
from Injustice, no?
Yeah.
in space.
You got to add the space.
You have to.
But yes, yeah. So this one is like Miguel said at least 10 times, gritty as fuck. It's. I'm definitely gonna continue it beyond obviously book 1.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
gonna finish. This
We're hooked.
book.
We're hooked.
Yeah. So shout out to the entire creative team, and we hope you all read it. It's on Comics. It's on book 1 is on Comixology Unlimited, but the entire run is on DC Universe Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have that app, get it
now. Exactly. It's actually a good fucking app. We talked shit about the DC Universe app, its predecessor. Now DC Universe Infinite is a good app. But I think what we were mentioning, right? Because we were talking about, you know, Detective Driver is the first protagonist, Detective Montoya is the second protagonist, but they're not the only people. Like it's a very vibrant fucking office, like, you know, unit. And there's like drama and like even all that the tension with Batman, the tension with that new commissioner that they have. Which actually, for that, I actually wanted to ask you guys. I don't even know what is this. Why is Jim Gordon retired, and why is Harvey Bullock like
I have no
was he
idea.
fired? Like what? Because
This takes place before War Games. If I'm not mistaken.
No, I think it was after. No.
No. Check it
It was
out. Check it
after
out.
Cataclysm, before War Games, because they
Yes.
mentioned that Two-Face is in a room that got buried after the earthquake,
Yes.
which was the Cataclysm event.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then at the end of War Games is when Commissioner Gordon returns as the commissioner of Gotham. If I'm not mistaken.
And just like super
Cuts.
quick, this for the fans: deep cuts in Cataclysm. There's a giant earthquake that legit breaks Gotham apart. All hell breaks loose. There's a bunch of tie-ins, crazy ass events.
Escape from LA, Snake Plissken.
Where all that types of crazy shit.
I gotta read this.
Yeah, each villain, they claim a part of the city. Batman claims a part of the city.
Oh, that's like Gotham. Like
Club,
Gotham, the
two,
season
ding,
finale
ding,
was
ding,
like,
ding.
oh,
Let's do
let's do it.
Cataclysm.
And then from there is where you get, if I'm not mistaken, Rod, please correct me, President Lex Luthor. Correct?
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
because they
shit.
rebuild Gotham and shit, yada yada
And
yada.
he's
with,
heavily
like,
involved.
Yeah. And then from there, that shit's crazy. And then in War Games, it's literally just like the movie Warriors. Every single gang goes to war in Gotham. There's some crazy epic character that I think show his name is Prometheus or some shit like that. Stephanie Brown Robin gets killed at some point.
Okay,
I think.
making me rethink the next
Yeah.
comic book pick. All right, let's think about this.
Let's think about it. We don't have to pick it right now.
Jumping the gun.
All right. But yeah, I forgot about those events. Yo, shit.
But see, this is why you all listeners, Legionnaires, read Gotham Central Volume 1, and then you'll be inspired to fucking explore the fucking DC universe and all these stories. These are fucking great stories. The art's fucking amazing. I don't think that's something we've talked about enough, right? Because I do think the script's great, right?
Man.
But I do what?
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Go ahead.
Chess.
Listen, man, I'm into shit like Jim Lee, like epic fucking art, like, you know what I mean? Shit that grabs you, which in the book's defense speaks highly about the book, because my eyeballs had to digest aesthetics it did not enjoy. But I was grabbed by the writing. But
that's what I mean. Like, I don't think
man.
Jim Lee's art on this would not work. Jim Lee's like classic superhero, like muscles and action, and like
he's not gonna
draw a chubby detective.
Yes, he is. I
sitting in a fucking. There's like panels of them sitting in a cop car, fucking like just watching, like staking out a house.
It's like an Alex Maleev a little bit, right? I got like shades of Bendis,
Well, like, I'm really glad you mentioned that, because obviously, because the only thing I'm like, why am I loving this so much? And I just remembered because Ed Brubaker and Michael Lark followed the Bendis Maleev Daredevil run, so that's
why it looks familiar.
I fucking highly recommend it, because Daredevil by Bendis Maleev and then followed by Brubaker and Lark. It's still, for me, honestly, one of the best fucking comic books, period, that I've ever read. Both of them together. The Bendis was a little bit better, but like they're amazing stories, and they're just like this, like very gritty and like fucking just like like down the, like not indie, like Rod said, like there it feels like an indie. It's not like superhero big punch and that kind of stuff, and no need for Jim Lee big muscles and that kind of stuff.
Shut your mouth. Listen, man, I would have loved to see a Rene Montoya drawn by Jim Lee. That would have been wavy.
It's probably out there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
actually, it's right here in your face. Boom.
Oh, nice.
Right there.
And also, so the fans know, Rene Montoya is one of the few police officers, because, like Rod had mentioned, with the Spectre dude who's also a cop, who's actually one of the few police officers to go on and actually become a superhero, because outside of Gotham Central, she becomes the Question, who is literally the most paranoid of all the superheroes in existence. That's literally his superpower, is paranoia.
Oh, I know nothing about that. I know nothing about the Question, but that's something we will pick up in a future episode when we'll read. Maybe a future book club pick will be a Question book to read that.
Shit, yo, I've never read a question book. I thought about that, but it's like, no. But okay, so but this is like the dude who was the question before Rene. My introduction to the question was in the Justice League Unlimited series. There's like a little story arc about the question. Like that shit is entertaining as fuck. I forgot what the episode is called, but I'm definitely down to read a whole book by the question. That'd be pretty cool.
Right, that'd be dope. Well, I'm hoping fans fucking enjoyed reading Gotham Central as much as we did. We're definitely gonna continue reading it because I know at least Rod kept reading it already. The motherfucker.
Word.
Yeah, Joker's next. So,
Oh my god.
strap into your seatbelts, whatever the fuck people say.
Word. Which
Good.
of course, yeah. Which like the guy said, we're definitely are gonna keep reading, and the next book is fucking Joker. So we just talked all that shit, and it was just Firebug and Mr. Freeze and Two-Face. Imagine the layers that they got with Joker. But we are gonna pick a whole nother book for the next installment of the book club, just so we could keep some diversity in our lives and expand our palette. But this book was fucking lit. It was crazy. We loved it. We hope you guys loved it too. Please hit up the Gmail. That is, wait, is it the Legion of Zoom or just Legion on Zoom at Gmail?
Legion on Zoom.
Legion on Zoom.
Gmail.com.
I always get that shit confused. Legion on Zoom at gmail.com. Go to our Insta, slide very nastily into our DMs. We love it. Talk to us. We will talk about the book. Give us a follow. We love you guys. We will do this shit again soon. Gentlemen, my lovers, my friends, my fellow Legionnaires. Love you guys. This is Ches.
Yo, this is Miguel.
This is Rod. Peace out.
Deuces. Bye.